All right, we are about to step into our discussion zone right now, and it's all about adult film addiction. Hafiz, how are you?
I'm good.
Nice, nice. You seem to like this particular song by Mali Music. I don't know why.
It
What's
brings back memories.
hey you?
No, but that's the thing about music for me. I don't
Music.
know about others though. Like,
Yeah, yeah, me too.
I mean, I can tell for each song. I have like almost like 1,000 songs on my
And
PC.
you can
But
reference
I
it
can
to
reference it to each individual and what circumstance
yeah.
from which like I got the song. So let's say this a particular song plays, and
Mm,
maybe you had something to do with it, or
mm,
my first listening. I'll
yeah.
definitely remember you.
Yeah, I remember you told me about the
Yes.
the Eminem song I talked about,
Mm-hmm.
Stepdad.
Stepdad, yes.
And,
So anytime it plays, I'm like, yeah, Barry.
yeah.
Or this tune by Chris Brown and Chipmunk,
Oh, Champion. It
Champion.
used to be my
Yes,
tune, yeah. My
exactly. So anytime
ringtone. They
it comes out,
play.
oh, okay, where's Barry?
Yeah, one of my
So I don't know
favorites.
if you actually want me to keep you in mind, maybe it's
Mm,
just through music, actually.
right, right. Wow, what a powerful art it is, you know.
Yeah, it's very powerful.
Okay, we are about to step into a bit. I don't know. I don't know if it's sensitive or it's a bit an area that people are not comfortable talking about.
We are being hypocrites.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
That's
We are
just it.
being hypocritical in that space.
African parents would act like sex is. Then you turn around and you have like 10, 15 kids staring at you.
So
How do you give birth to all those?
well,
Eh.
that was
Let's be serious.
that was formal. That was formal, okay. And you didn't have those crazy Shaolin monk things you are doing.
Oh, come
You
on,
always talk
please,
about so.
please.
Yeah, and people say anything aside missionary is illegal.
Hey, Charlie, you even know the positions. What is missionary? Right.
No,
Sensei,
I
please
mean,
teach me.
come on.
Please, I'll come for more
My
knowledge.
friend, behave yourself.
I'll come for more knowledge. Charlie.
Okay, so adult film addiction. Clearly, I mean, I talked about how even the thing is, it's not people don't actually come out to say this because it's more of like, okay, you'll be looked out and you'll be looked at in a certain way in your society or by a friend or by a colleague or any other person. But I chanced upon a certain article that actually gave statistics that was produced or provided by these porn sites. These are the number of people that, it's so amazing to know that it's actually referencing the total number of like world population. The
Okay.
total, yeah, it's kind of like us against the world population. These are the percentage of people that watch pornography over a period of time, and I was fascinated. I'm like, woo!
Yeah, pornography. I mean, just even speaking of stats, when you talk about the worldwide addiction rates
Right,
or the country that consumes porn the most
uh,
is actually the United States,
right.
followed by Japan. Then you have Canada, and then yes, Japan, UK, Canada, and I think France also.
Whoa,
Yes.
like worldwide.
Yes, worldwide actually.
Oh.
Yes. Well, according to the statistics put out by a popular porn site called Pornhub. I
Right.
read it somewhere. I don't know what it is.
Did you visit the
So,
site?
can we go on? So,
Why are you running away?
what did I say?
I thought you said
Barry,
we shouldn't be hypocritical.
let me have this conversation in peace. so,
Okay, let's go.
it's like you are in the mood for trouble today.
No, I'm just
Okay.
listening to you, man.
Now, when you talk about adult form addiction,
Yeah.
or more widely pornographic addiction,
Yeah.
now, I mean, it's one of those, touchy areas where
Mm.
people are like very shy, or I won't say touchy, but very shy to
Mm.
have a conversation about. And previously, before internet access and
Mm.
the advancement in technologies that we've seen,
Yeah.
pornography came in the form of VCR tapes.
Yeah.
Some would even go as far as get bootleg copies of it.
Yeah. Go
It came in
record
the
it.
in the form of magazines, in the
Yeah.
form of photos and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, something people would stash away from prying eyes, like cocaine or something.
Yeah.
Just so, I mean, you want to avoid answering questions about why you have such material lying around.
I know, right?
Yes, and so people were hiding stuff like that. Then fast forward years down the line, we have technology advancement. There's internet access, and internet access seems to have changed the game massively.
It has
you have, yes, it has now provided,
Escalated the issue further.
yes, it has allowed for anonymous access
Mm.
to pornography with limitless amounts of content.
Mm.
Yes, with varying degrees of explicitness.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can watch all kinds of, depending on your fantasy, depending
Yeah,
on your fetish,
yeah.
basically.
Whatever you're looking
Whatever
out
you are
for, you get it.
into. That's
Mm.
how huge it has become.
Mm.
These days, there's even an award,
Yeah, they do
ceremony and
that.
everything.
Yeah.
Yes, but when you come to porn, adult form, I mean, it's now let's start with the scientific basis.
Bits of it,
Yes,
okay.
before we go into anecdotes and everything. You see, studying porn is difficult.
Mm.
Yes, it has given researchers, a difficult time, trying to understand it.
Mm.
Of course, there are bits and pieces of information, percentages, and blah 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 here. and
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But there's some amount of difficulty or drawing some form of conclusion when it comes to research surrounding porn.
Mm.
Let me give you a few examples. Now, and even before the example, you see, the thing about it is that in trying to gather information for the porn habits of people,
Mm-hmm.
one, you have to rely on two ways. Either you are relying on their self-reports, on on their habits surrounding
Okay.
porn, which most people won't do,
Uh-huh.
or shy away from, sometimes even tell lies,
Mm.
or you would have to, do it in a controlled environment. So you get a lab and you have people expose them to porn, and then which is unnatural.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
It's unusual to do that.
Yes, it's just like the way research is conducted.
Mm.
Getting information. You either do it under controlled conditions or uncontrolled.
Yeah.
What they call observation and experimentation.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's just in research.
Mm.
So that's that. But like I said, a lot of the time with the conditions that they have, they fail to come up with conclusions. Sometimes even contradictory down the years and everything.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
so, for instance, there's a research per international standards that's between 50 to 99% of men
Mm.
consume more porn, whereas you have 30 to 80%, 86% of women
Mm.
consuming porn.
Right.
So what does this research say? What it means is that more men
Mm-hmm.
consume porn than women.
Yeah.
Now, why is that?
Mm.
Okay, questions are asked. Why do men? So even with this research didn't come conclusively, but reading other some materials, they will tell you, look, essentially what they say is men are the gatekeepers of commitment, women are the gatekeepers of sex.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm.
And so they'll tell you that it's easier for your average woman to get access to sex than it is for
For a man.
a man.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
some live their sexual fantasies through these things for men
Yeah.
because of how difficult it is. Of course, if you are not looking to employ the services of a sex
Of a
worker,
call girl or something.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
you shouldn't use the P word these days.
Can you
So-
move away from that?
So-
Why is it still in the dictionary?
Let's go on.
I can't remember the last time I saw it, but
So
anyway.
there's that.
Mm.
Now there's this other interesting research
Right.
that also didn't end conclusively surrounding porn addiction and porn and everything.
Mm.
Now, one said that. Now, there's this study and that study was done in 2014.
Okay.
And in this study, researchers from Max Planck Institute in Berlin, Germany,
Mm.
they observed some 60 men. And
60 men.
60 men.
Mm.
More than 60, actually, in this case. And they exposed them to porn.
Mm.
And what they realized was that the stratum, or a part of the brain that is responsible for pleasure
Mm-hmm.
and arousal,
Yeah.
or the reward system, is part of the reward system, was smaller for those that watch porn.
Okay.
Yes. So that part of the brain shrinks. Your brain becomes small. So what it means is that for you to get aroused,
Mm-hmm.
for such people that have a smaller stratum,
Mm-hmm.
what it means is that for them to get aroused, they will need exposure to more graphical content.
Okay.
Yes, to be aroused.
Mm.
But what they couldn't conclude was that whether or not it was as a result of the porn that escalated it, or it was like that.
Mm.
So you see, so
Yeah.
then again, there are issues there.
No conclusions and all of
Yes,
these.
so
yeah.
it's still like that. Okay,
Mm.
so what?
What exactly?
The layman in me is sitting down like, okay, so what I say?
So what I say, yeah.
Okay.
Conclude.
So there's also another one surrounding erectile dysfunction.
Okay.
You know how some people easily blame porn for, when things are not working properly down there.
Okay.
Now, but here's the thing about it. There isn't a conclusive research to back the fact that porn is actually responsible for, your
Erectile
dysfunction and whatnot.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
In fact, now here's the thing. In fact, watching porn can actually help with arousal, according to researchers from UCLA and Concordia University.
Yeah, Lord.
So it's,
So it's like it's contradictory.
so there's so much work
Well,
on it.
Mm.
Now, even like I could go on and on. There are so many examples. Even I think even the nature of porn has evolved.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because a porn star was interviewed in one of these documentaries. A renowned porn star. I don't want to mention his name before you start asking me how I know. So, but that's
No,
not
but
the
you know
point.
he's a renowned porn
Let's
star.
go.
How did you know he was a renowned porn star?
I can't know things again. So, so what
Slow
happened?
down. Hold your horses, bro.
What is your problem?
The show is Africa Daily on Africa Global Radio. Take a breath, my brother. We're talking adult film addiction, aka pornography addiction, and I mean, half it started earlier, breaking it down, talking about how the percentage of men is more than the women, and then how certain researchers have actually taken their time to conduct a couple of researches. But then the thing is, no conclusive material has been provided so far. Like, this is it. As a result of this happened, or as a result of that happened. As a matter of fact,
So that's why some don't even recognize porn addiction as a real addiction. Some say it's compulsive behavior. It's not an addiction. So what exactly are you saying? So there's this whole back and forth surrounding
right.
it.
So what did the porn
So
star say?
now,
Yeah,
you even remember that?
He's a porn star. I just
Okay.
want to
So
hear that.
here's the thing. A porn star in one of these documentaries, and he said, look, in the 1990s, around the early 90s, then,
Right.
porn was about making love.
Okay.
Okay, just ordinary missionary style, blah blah, and it's done. But from 2010 onwards, okay, the whole thing changed. Okay, and researchers analyzed more than, I think, 300 porn scenes. Okay,
300 porn scenes.
more than 300
More
porn
than,
scenes
okay.
after 2010,
Right.
when this research was done, and they found that 88% of the new age porn, if I should put it that way, was promoting aggressive behavior.
Okay.
Yes. So you would have a man hold a woman in a certain way, choke hold and everything, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yes. And mostly the perpetrators were men or women. And the response you usually get from the women in these videos, this make-believe stuff, was that they were actually displaying signs of pleasure or
pain.
No, or they were just neutral. So you have someone that walks around thinking this is how it should be in real life. Then he grabs a woman in a certain way, and then yes. Now this was when people were trying to connect, aggressive behavior and sexual violence with porn.
Okay.
Yes. And so, but later researchers were like, no, that's not it. That's a stretch. So there's so much.
That's what it is. So bring us the results now. You guys are sitting about the bush like that.
There's so much surrounding it, and I could go on and on and on and on and on. But so if this is not it, what exactly? Okay, then let's be honest. What exactly is the effects of some of porn? Okay, or porn addiction?
Excessive,
your exposure to such a content. And yes, if you sites have put certain things together, which I think is on the safe side, but if you dig deeper, you probably would have some more researchers. Yes. But first and foremost, we are looking at the productivity bit, because here's the thing: when you are addicted to porn, yes, a lot of the time you can't tell when exactly you use it, and these days it's so easy to get at. I mean, one Google search
just
away,
a click away,
exactly, and there are apps to actually go onto these, these sites very easily. Okay, so the thing is, so when it's so bad, what it means is that you are even at your workplace, you get a chance to say take a 5-minute break, 10-minute break.
You want to get onto a site.
You are you are on company Wi-Fi on porn. And usually the tech guys will know because they know who views what in most organizations. So that's a simple tip to those that actually watch porn on company Wi-Fi. I'm only telling you that
the IT guys,
the tech guys, they know. Usually they know who does what.
Right.
Yes. So, but that's it. Okay. So, in terms of productive time, it slows it. Yes. It affects your productivity. You can't do just about anything. You can't concentrate. Now, at times you should be using to concentrate on other things. I mean, your mind is filled with the whole I want to satisfy
looking
this
to pleasure.
Yes, looking to pleasure. And also, addiction in itself also messes with your sexual life in various degrees. Now, when you talk about messing up with your sexual life, there are so many ways it does that. Okay, one, we are looking at a trying to explore all manner of sexual positions. Okay, doing all stuff. Now, you know how people watch these things and they want to try.
It.
Yes,
Yeah,
sometimes they tend to confuse fiction with reality.
reality, right?
So now imagine you are exposed to so much content like that, or you've seen so much of a particular sexual position, and then you want to try that with a partner who is more reserved, who is more conservative in
There's
bed.
no wild.
Yes, who's not
Yeah.
so wild. Yes, and you want to try that, you are going to start having issues because all of a sudden you want someone that hasn't been
You want
really
to,
that exposed
you want to become
whatever
an,
it is.
an
Exactly.
adventure person, adventurous in your sexual
Yes.
exploitations,
Yes,
right?
because you want to use them to fulfill all these things that you see.
You see,
Because
right.
naturally, you assume that your partner should know these things.
Yeah.
So it creates this whole, a skewed understanding of what exactly sex is. Okay? Yes. And like I mentioned, some even go ahead to say, what's the name? Will tell you erectile dysfunction and everything because you masturbate a lot and blah blah blah.
Okay.
But you can see how it also causes problems with premature ejaculation and everything. It messes with your sexual life because what it means is that your reward system. Remember, I said your brain shrinks. Okay, so it gets so bad that some, even in having sex with a real person or a partner, they would need to feast their eyes on something, on an image to get aroused.
Right.
So if some sexual image or content is not playing somewhere in a video,
You don't feel that
they don't feel it.
with their partner.
Yes.
Wow, that's how bad it can be.
Yes. So because the point or the part of the brain responsible for what do they call it? The pleasure has shrunk so badly. So it's so small. So they need that constant exposure to be able to do that. So there are varying degrees. Of course, you have so many researchers who say, nah, this is not it. Fine. Okay. So when this happens, when all these researchers come in science, and then you have people tending to make moral arguments that it is bad. Okay. So that is where you have
It's a sin.
Good, that's the word, sin. So religious people will tell you, no, sex is not just the physical act or watching it, because it's about sharing energies and everything.
Yeah.
So if the person, it's a terrible person or has this bad energy, you transfer it to each other, and when you are exposed to the, religion will tell you all these things. Okay, so whether you choose to believe in it, to be able, that's okay, or to manage your lustful thinking,
Right.
that is up to you, because. For Muslims, even they tell you one of the ways that jinns or other stuff get into your,
Through
get to
these-
possess you. Yes, one of your most vulnerable moments is when you are actually exposed to porn. Yes,
Right.
yes, when you are watching porn, that is when they say that a jinn can possess you. So you have exorcism, done on people, and they act all weird. Yes, they'll tell you. Exposing yourself to such content is also one of the ways you can. But that's religion. That's
Right,
religious talk.
right,
So if
right.
they are not into that, that's why I try to provide the science bit, and now brought the religious bit as well.
Okay.
Anyway, so that is it. But I've said all these things. But how then do we tackle it? If indeed is a problem.
Well, that's the thing, because there's this lady that shared, her a bit about how even after she has,
She's intimate. with her partner.
after that, she actually, the husband goes into the washroom
To
and is all
masturbate.
busy masturbating. And she go like, what is wrong?
But that's the thing. Some would say they can't trace it back to porn. Now, remember, somewhere in September this year, there was this news, and I think even media houses picked it up, blogs and everything,
Right.
that Ghana is leading in,
Yeah, there was a time.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard
but
it.
that turned out to be a lie. Why? Because for a lot of reasons. Yes, Ghana can't be the first, the leader in the consumption of porn for a lot of reasons.
Right,
And
right.
people didn't do their research there, because you realize, like I mentioned, globally, the United States leads the pack,
Mm-hmm.
followed by my dear country, Japan. I don't know.
Are you disappointed?
No, I like Japan. So anyway, but that's it.
Mm.
But on the African continent, now what's Ghana was actually, doing on such a list that was put out by Pornhub was that we led. There was this category, the BBW,
Okay.
big black, big beautiful women.
Okay.
Yes, Pornhub has that category,
Mm-hmm.
and even in that category, Nigeria was leading the pack in there.
Okay.
Not Ghana. If you look at the leaders in like the top 20 countries, there's no African country actually in there.
Okay.
Yes, you
Mm.
have
Guys are
Brazil
holy.
and
We
everything.
didn't know. We actually holy.
there's no top 20 worldwide. But when you come to some of these categories, that's where you find African countries.
Okay.
Yes, and even in that region, it was Nigeria. So
Mm.
what it means is that most African countries in that region were looking for plus size women.
Okay.
Yes,
Mm.
something involving a plus size woman. So
Okay.
because in that category, that is where they put with the women with that body sizes
Okay.
and
Okay. Okay.
whatever they have to show there.
Right.
So that's what we Ghana there. So there wasn't a thing such as Ghanaians loving porn and even that. I mean,
Mm.
you realize Nigeria is still under some ban, Twitter and everything.
Yeah.
Yes. So what it means is that a lot of them use VPN,
Mm.
and with VPN, you change your location to just about anywhere. So a
Right.
Nigerian could be sitting in Nigeria and then change his location to Ghana.
Okay. Okay. Mm.
So you have those numbers. Do the
Mhm.
math.
Increasing. So
Exactly.
thinking
So
is about
Ghana.
Ghana.
So
but
yes, and when
Right.
you even talk about internet access, I mean, you can say Ghanaians have more internet access than United States. So how
Nope.
come we are?
yeah,
so
leading.
it just
yeah.
it just doesn't
yeah,
make sense
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. The show was Africa Daily on Africa Global Radio, and I mean a very interesting conversation we're having right here, where most people would shy away from talking about. I don't really. Why do people get shy? Why do people shy?
It's the stigma surrounding it. Yes, it's it's how we've made sex in itself.
Yeah, we
become
don't talk about
a
that.
taboo
It's a taboo.
subject.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
taboo
true.
subject.
That's
Okay.
true.
Look at our African parents try to talk to you about sex
Yeah,
or anything for that matter related to sex.
yeah. You.
I remember I came home and I was holding a contraceptive when I was in primary school.
Hey!
My mom freaked out. Hey, what are you holding? What are you doing? I said, this one, calm down. No, where did I get it? Who gave it to me? To make matters worse, I said, this thing is in school. Hey, this is what they're teaching you in school. I said, calm
So
down.
what if they teach you in school? Isn't it simple?
No, she was like, do you realize what I said? This thing, and look, I wasn't even making things, easier for her. They know what I said. I said, but this thing, I know how it's used. Actually, the one was losing her mind. Until this is, I make fun of her with it.
It's like, what do you do with a contraceptive? Okay, that was even a contraceptive. I wonder if it was a
So
condom.
imagine if
Yeah,
I
it
was,
was a condom.
carrying around a condom and everything.
Yeah. Without being slaughtered, yeah.
Exactly. So that's just your African parent for you. So everything surrounding sexuality and everything is such a touchy thing. But
Yeah.
interesting enough, I mean, look at the kids we give birth to.
Now.
10, 15, even before now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. So they are the product of what? That's what you realize.
It was a conversation we had at midnight, and then heaven fell.
Someone has one silly question on Twitter. About
Right,
that.
that.
He wonders if Arabians have sex with the way the women dress. And an Arabian came and replied that comment like, no, we just look at each other's ankles and then boom, we are pregnant. so,
Dear Lord.
yeah, but I mean, for a lot of time, I mean,
Yeah,
there are so many angles we
Mm,
can
mm, mm.
have conversations surrounding this. But let's look at dealing with it.
Mm.
I mean, it's not just about saying is this, is that,
Yeah.
but
How
okay,
do you
fine
deal with
for
such a-
someone that probably thinks that, or even the signs before, because how do you know it's compulsive behavior? How do you know it's an addiction? Because I'm saying like there is still so much back and forth with what exactly it is called. But then, how do you know something like that is up? Now, yes, when you, for instance, you catch yourself insisting on your partner also watching it
Mhm.
with you, you might actually have a problem there. You check
Yeah.
yourself if that is the case.
If you have a problem with your
yes,
partner
yes,
watching,
if you don't, yes, no, if you have a problem with your partner not watching it with you, something, it's a fantasy. They wanted to do it that way, and it's so bad that they want their partner involved in it.
okay.
Check yourself. There's also the productivity bit. So you catch yourself at work hours. Wanting to see one or two naked women up and down. Check yourself. You might have issues there. Okay. And also, there's also the issue of playing out fantasies and everything.
Mm.
Yes, you might want to, also look at it. Of course, that is a gray area because let's be honest. I mean, people do all kinds of crazy things. Does
Mm.
that mean they are addicted to porn?
Nah,
See,
not necessarily.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can hear a pin drop here. So,
Mm.
what exactly is that? Because the fact that someone wants to play out his fantasy or his kink doesn't
Mm-hmm.
exactly mean they are addicted to porn. So, there's a lot of gray areas in there. But these are a few things you can look out for.
Mm.
But in case you still see it as a problem, or it's still a problem to you, let me put it that way. How do you deal with it?
With it. Mm.
Yes. Now, first and foremost, most people or some people
Mm.
will tend to spirituality.
Okay.
Yes. So if you're a Muslim, you practice more what your religion tells you. If you're a Christian, you go to church more. You listen to your pastor and what he has to say, or go for counseling
Right.
in the church and listen to what your spiritual father or whoever it is that's responsible for you spiritually has to say. For Muslims, I mean, the little I know is um, as a young man. Yes, I
Mm-hmm.
remember in one of the hadiths, the Holy Prophet was advising young men,
Yeah.
okay, that they should get married
Early.
very early,
Mm.
to deal with their lust, because
Mm.
porn addiction is basically you trying to look for sexual gratification however you can,
Mm.
you can,
Mm.
okay, and this lustful behavior, it starts from lust and everything. So he's like, okay, so as a young man, if you're feeling that way, marry if you can. So they asked, okay, so how about those that can't marry or don't have the means to actually marry?
Right.
And you know what the prophet said? He said fast,
Mm.
because fasting
But
means what
abstain you from these.
would beat down all these chemical reactions and everything. So that is for those that tend to spirituality and everything. But there's more on that. If you ask your Islamic cleric or scholar and everything, or if you're a Christian,
Yeah.
or a Buddhist, you
Mm.
ask,
Mm.
you find out on ways to deal with such behavior if you
Mm.
think.
And I know a lot of people even recommend, getting engaged, going out to see friends,
Yes, so there's also that bit.
extracurricular
Yes, so
activities,
finding a hobby, basically physical
Mm.
activity, if it's
Yeah.
sports,
Mm-hmm.
anything, just keep moving. That's what
Mm.
it is. Just and the Bible will say what the devil finds work for the idle hands.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
find something to do.
Mm.
Engage yourself. Okay.
So that when you're idle, lonely in a certain place, it tends to
Yes,
motivate
you
you
start
to
to think some of these
all kind
things.
of thoughts.
Yes,
Yeah. Mm.
you, and you see these days it's even more difficult because it's on a phone these days. So what you can do,
Yeah.
because of the technological bit,
Mm.
well, what you can do for yourself is also install certain apps that blocks some of these things, that detect some of these materials.
Okay.
Yes, there are actually apps like that when there's a, because sometimes they just pop up as suggestions and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
you visit and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and for some people is an issue.
Mm.
So you can put some of
Install
these
an app that
safeguards,
could
yeah,
block it
that
from
block some of
popping up.
these sites,
So if
so
it's
that
a porn site, it
automatically
okay, block
blocks
it. Mm.
things like that. And also you should know your triggers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, for some it's just they are just one image away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's sitting there having a good time. He sees
This lady
someone
passing.
twerking on his timeline. Boom, he's
Start thinking this,
he start thinking
having
about
this
sex and everything.
fantasy thoughts in
Exactly.
his
So
head.
know your triggers.
Mhm.
Yes, it could be a mama selling wachi somewhere.
Yeah.
So
You always want to go buy a watchy because of our mama.
somehow you are buying wachi.
Dear Lord.
Okay, so just know your triggers. I'm just saying. Yeah,
Mm.
okay, so know your triggers and everything. But that's not to blame my mama for, because anyway. So, but also, what you can do for yourself is partnering up with someone else. Okay, it's very difficult, but
Partnering with someone else in what?
yes, to hold you accountable,
Mm.
so that when you backslide or you have someone that is on your case,
check
someone
you.
you can trust
Mm.
to check this behavior, and preferably for those that seek spiritual help.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, maybe their imams or their spiritual leaders actually do this for them. So they have a way of putting you on a certain program or certain regimen.
Right.
Yes, so that, I mean, some, for those that go for counseling or therapy, whatever, their therapists would do that, or will come up with something to keep them in check.
Okay.
Yes, to avoid something like that. And
Right.
personally, you can actually keep yourself accountable. And how do you do that? You can keep a journal.
Mm.
Yes, to track your activities, your internet activities, and also if you've relapsed, the setbacks, what
Yeah.
caused it. Just keep track. Remind yourself why you're doing this constantly. Yes, and You'll do that.
Right, thank you. No joke at all, man. But yeah, thank you, Hafiz, for joining us on the
Yeah.
conversation and for sharing all of these nuggets and recommendations as well. And I believe there are tons of them on the internet that you can go get. Speak to people, like you said, your pastors, your clergymen, generally psychologists and psychiatrists. So I mean, all are real people that can actually support you too. And you yourself, I think you can actually hold yourself accountable, especially the most. For me, I think that's like the ultimate because yeah, the second party might be the one you run to.
But it's
For,
difficult to ask for help, So
that's
yes,
what I'm
yes.
saying.
So there's no shame in that.
There's no shame in that,
that.
yeah. But
Yes.
yourself, if you actually decided to move away from this act and get turn a new leaf, generally, I think you can do it, no matter how difficult it may be. Okay, this is where time would permit us to go with our discussions on for today. Addiction. Adult film addiction is the topic. So you can also check it out on YouTube later on. It will be uploaded. If you have a comment, support it or back it up or share, do so. And yeah, we'll read it out as well and get to learn a thing or two. I am Barry Musa.